Hello everyone! Today I want to talk to you about Japanese nonverbal communication. Some of the more common things that you would see if you deal with anyone who is Japanese, if you go to Japan, just things to look out for so that when you do see them, you understand what to do. So without further ado, let's get into it. So what is nonverbal communication? Nonverbal communication is when you say something without actually saying something. So it could be a hand gesture, it could be an eye movement, it could be body language, it could be something really simple, or it could be something a little bit more complex. So I'm going to go into a couple of them that are pretty common in Japan and that you will probably run into whether you're just talking to somebody who's from Japan or you are actually in the country. The first one that I want to start with is eye contact. Now, it is considered rude to stare at somebody in the eye for too long. You want to make eye contact, but you don't want to prolong that. It will make the other person probably feel pretty uncomfortable, especially if that person you're talking to isn't used to people from cultures that do kind of expect you to meet somebody's gaze when you're talking to them. Another nonverbal gesture that you will see a lot in Japan is this. Now, no, that does not mean you stink. So if you see somebody in Japan going like this, it usually means no. Or that's not true, that's not so, like sonokoto janai. It's fine, don't worry about it. Another hand gesture you will commonly see in Japan, especially if you are staying with somebody who is Japanese, you're doing a tour or something, and somebody needs to get your attention or to get you to come over to them, you will see this gesture a lot. That means, come here. A lot of people think this means go away. And in a lot of cultures that, yeah, it kind of does mean go away, but it's more like a shoo instead of a come here. So it is different. I know for some people it takes some getting used to. I do this a lot in the States and they're like, you're telling me to come to you, but you're making a go away gesture and I'm confused. This is usually a good thing, unless, you know, you're in a bad situation. One of the most important forms of nonverbal communication is bowing. Bowing says so much and there's so many ways to mess it up. So I'm going to spend the rest of this video telling you how to bow properly. Bowing is super important. It can say a lot, honestly. Whether you use the right bow in the right situation, whether you do it correctly. It can mean anything from hi, hello, I acknowledge what you're saying. You can greet somebody with a bow. You can say goodbye to somebody with a bow. And you can offend everybody you know with a bow. Here, we're gonna start off with what not to do when you're bowing. First of all, you wanna keep your back straight. Don't hunch your shoulders, don't curve your spine. Another thing you wanna do is you wanna keep your elbows to your side. You ever wanna stick your arms out like a chicken wing? Because, I mean, you look like a chicken. Another thing that is also something you don't wanna do when you bow is keep your head up and make direct eye contact. That is the weirdest thing you can do when you bow. It just looks awkward, and like I said earlier, Japanese people don't really make extended eye contact. So if you bow to somebody, keeping your going straight down, but you bend your head and you stare them in the eye as you go down, it's uncomfortable. It's just not right. Sometimes they'll laugh at you, sometimes they'll wait till you go and then they'll laugh at you. It depends on the person, but regardless, they will laugh at you. They might be flattered that you attempted, but they will still laugh at you. And the last thing, I've never personally seen this done, but I guess it's a thing that happens, is when you bow, don't throw up peace signs or thumbs up. Just bow. Put your arms down. Put your arms down. Don't throw up a thumbs up, flash a peace sign. Keep your hands to your side or in front. Don't do that. It's weird. There are also two different ways to bow. There's bowing in seiza and there's bowing in seiritsu. Seiritsu is a standing bow and seiza is when you sit on your knees and then you bow. Seiza bowing is much more formal, it's much more traditional, and honestly, I haven't really bowed in seiza. This bow you can do in any way, shape, or form because it's a head nod and it's the easiest and the most simple of bows that you can do. A head nod simply means hi, I acknowledge you. I'm listening, I'm understanding, I'm attentive. I may not necessarily agree with your saying, but I'm listening, I'm processing, intaking. It's all good. So it just acknowledging that you're talking to them and that what you have to say is important. I do it in the States all the time. It's it's super casual. The next bow we're going to be talking about is Shaku. Shaku is like a bow of greeting. It's a shallow bow, but it is still a way of saying, hello, nice to meet you. Then there is the Hutsure or Keire. More formal bow, but it is the most common type of bow. This is the bow you use when you are meeting somebody who is higher, like a higher rank than you. Like your boss, your in-laws, important people you don't know. It's usually about a 45-degree bow, 30 to 45-degree bow. Another thing about Hutsure and Keire is that your bow will be, unless you are the head honcho in the situation, your bow will be much lower than the person you were bowing to. If you are bowing to your boss, you will be here and he will be here because he is higher than you. So again, if you don't bow correctly to your boss, maybe they'll understand because you're a foreigner. Chances are though, you should know this before you go and make any sort of business transactions. There's also the Saikeire, which is more for worship. Foreigners in Japan don't necessarily use it as much. You know what? Just for funsies, because I said we weren't going to do any seiza bows, I lied. We're going to talk about one seiza bow, and that is Dou Gaza. Dou Gaza is a bow that you will not use, hopefully. Dou Gaza is usually seen in samurai movies or yakuza movies. It is a bow of prostration. It's a bow used where you are on the ground, head to the floor in full apology because you done something real bad. You've done something really bad and you are literally begging the person in front of you to not kill you because that's just how badly you've messed up. Like I said, this one is just for fun. Prostration, groveling, begging for your life. Dou Gaza. She's a fun one. Yes. Those are all of the nonverbal communications that I want to briefly speak with you about today. There are tons of other ones out there. There is this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and so many more. There's double hands, there's pointing, tons and tons more. So if you're interested in seeing any more of these, please let me know. I would be more than happy to try and whip some more of these out for you. If you have any questions about anything you've seen, just let me know and I will try to answer them. I'm not an expert on any of these nonverbals. These are just the ones that I know. These are the ones that I've experienced and what I have understood their meaning to be through research and personal experience. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you were able to learn something from this, and if not, you were hopefully at least entertained, and that's all. Goodbye!